make this decision, should I fight or not, then you should know your fundamental identity. Who are your identities? What all your identities are? So Bhagavad Gita deals with loss of identity, conflict of identity, hierarchy of identity, and features of our identity. What are those things? Loss of identity, right? Conflict of identity, hierarchy of identity, and features of identity. Arjuna actually had kind of loss of identity and conflict of identity. I'll tell what is that. Now when Arjuna said, I don't want to fight, he kind of almost forgot himself, who he is. Why am I speaking all these things? So there was loss of identity. Secondly, even if he got his identity, that I am a Kshatriya, that is a professional identity, even there was a conflict of identity with his relationship identity. Arjuna also has a relationship identity. With Bhishma, his relationship identity as a dearmost grandson. With his dearmost teacher, Drona, he has got identity of a favorite disciple. With other people, he has got some identity as some uncle or whatever, so many people are there. So between these two identity, the professional identity and the relationship identity, there was conflict. Which one should be followed? Should I follow my professional identity of being a Kshatriya and fight? Or should I follow my relationship identity and look at my relatives? So Krishna spoke, one is your professional identity. Other one is your relation identity. Above all those things, there is spiritual identity. Krishna introduced in the second chapter the spiritual identity, one more dimension to make decisions. Because there was a conflict between the two. How do you resolve a conflict? You resolve conflict by bringing a new dimension to it. And the new dimension was spiritual identity. Because both professional identity and relationship identity, they were coming from something called body. Both were coming from a bodily identity. Because I am this body, so I am a Kshatriya. I am a Kshatriya body, so I am a Kshatriya. So this body belongs to Bhishma and all these people, so I am Kaurava or Pandava, like this. So to solve this conflict, Krishna elevated that identity to a new dimension and called spiritual identity. Arjuna's, the identity which is above both the identity is actually the Atma, the soul, spiritual identity. And this is called hierarchy of identity. Whenever there is a conflict, then immediately we have to set the hierarchy all right. Always confusion and conflict comes when there is a confusion about hierarchy. Like in any organization, why conflict and confusion comes? That means hierarchy is not very clear. What do you mean by hierarchy? Anybody can define? What is hierarchy?
The distribution of roles.
The distribution of roles and responsibilities, the power. Like in any organization, there is a topmost decision-making person. Let's say CEO, or above CEO, there is a chairman or an owner, and then below the owner is CEO, and below the CEO, there will be some other people, and finally, there are so many workers, right? So if there are two people, if there is a confusion among the two people, then they'll approach their reporting manager or their authority. So the authority is the one who will solve what is right, what is wrong. So when Arjuna was confused whether I should fight or I should take care of my relatives, their happiness and their well-being and all that. So to solve this conflict, Krishna cleared the hierarchy of identities. Okay, now we all have many identities. Physical identity. What do you mean by physical identity? Arjuna is a man. Was there any gender conflict? No, there was no gender conflict. So Arjuna's gender identity, there was no problem. So professional identity. What is Arjuna's professional identity? He's a Kshatriya, he's an administrator. So was there a conflict, confusion? Yes, there was a conflict and confusion. Should I fight or not? So this is my profession. Should I act or not? And then there were relationship identity. What do you mean by relationship identity? Somebody, let's say some 2-3 of you go and meet somebody. How do you introduce? This is my father, I'm the son, and this is my mother. So at that time, you're talking something about your relationship identity. You're not saying, this is man, I'm also a man, this is woman. This is not the way we introduce ourselves. Here is one woman, I'm a man, and here also man. Oh, here is one more, so younger woman. No, we say, this is father, this is mother, this is sister, and this is me. At that time, our identity is relationship identity. When a family goes, we don't say, here is a doctor, and here is a mother teacher, and here is one student. We don't talk about our professional identity. We talk about our relationship identity. And in some other place, we only focus on our professional identities. So some of us, we go, who are you all? Can you introduce? Then say, oh, here is a doctor, here is an engineer, here is a lawyer, and I am some scientist. So at that time, we are focusing not on gender. We are not focusing on our relationship identity. We are focusing on our professional identity. So we have got innumerable identities. So many identities. Nationality. In some place, we focus on our nationality. We say, I'm an Indian, here is a Korean, here is an African, here is an American. That time you don't say male, female, right? So there are so many identities. But when there are only identities, when there are multiple identities, which identity is the topmost? Which identity is the second topmost? Which identity is the third topmost? This clarity is required. And this is called hierarchy of identities. Hierarchy of identity. When the hierarchy is very clear, the command, the direction in which the command comes also is very clear. If there is a confusion among the employees, now what to do? One direction will come. Who told this? No, one more employee only told. Then nobody will take it seriously. He said, no, CEO told this. Then everybody takes it seriously because it is coming from the topmost identity in this organization. So now Krishna helped Arjuna to first of all define his true identity, that is not the body, your spiritual identity as soul. And next he defined how soul is above mind and body, intelligence, ego. And this is the hierarchy of identity. And from that identity, Arjuna has to now make decision. If he makes from the identity of a body, then he will not be able to fight. He'll say, oh, the body of Bhishma and Drona and other relatives will be destroyed. So that is not good. So that is where he was feeling very difficult to make that decision. Now as an identity of a profession, a professional identity also, he was not able to make decision. Because in that profession also he was feeling how being a Kshatriya, I can create Varna Sankara. And how being a Kshatriya, we can attack, for sake of some small property. I don't need this property, all these things. So even there was, so then as a soul, as Atma, you have to make decision. Many times in our life, all of us go through this confusion. What to do, what not to do. What exactly I should do in my life? This is $1 million question, right? So to make decision, we need reference point. While we are driving, We need map. Likewise, to make any decision, you need reference point. As per your reference point, your decisions will be apt. If your reference point is body, one kind of decisions you make. If your reference point is mind, one kind of decisions will be made. If your reference point is ego, then another kind of decisions will be made. And if your reference point is the soul, then different kind of decisions will be made. Now Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is asking Arjuna that he should make a decision based on soul's reference point, not